Wow.
Welcome back to the Four Missing Pieces. I'm Ebony.
Is it? We're gone.
It's the girl Jennifer.
It's your boy Hobz.
And it's your man Sam.
Man, okay.
Oh, wow. Why is everyone hating on me, fam?
Okay.
You know, last episode, yeah, I saw where you don't hate on my voice and that. Do you know what I mean?
You got the lotioning voice
The
back
lotioning,
again.
Back
Come
again.
on,
Ready?
And that's why I didn't drink, because I got comments saying that I was sounding a bit too high, like my voice was. They said it's not the normal sound that we know, innit?
Oh,
And I was just like, yeah.
So what, you got a lotioning
Okay, we
voice
got to bring it back to them.
24/7,
You know what I'm trying to say?
yeah?
You know what I'm trying to say? But it's
Girls.
crazy. Look at us drippy that. What are you telling them?
Got the J's on your feet.
I was like some drippy. You know what I'm trying to say?
Yeah.
But what's obviously today's topics are gonna be like blackness, innit? Do you know what I mean? Community or a trend. Do you know what I'm trying to say? And do you know I'm actually laughing because this brings back to remember Pastor Toby?
PT.
PT. Fam, did you not hear what he said?
No.
Not Nella Bowles.
On ZZ Mills.
When he was like, black people don't inspire me. He was like, do you hear about that? Nah, so basically he said, and this is where the topic kind of comes from as well. He was like, black people don't inspire me. He was like, when I see black people, I don't see a community. Like the Asians, like the Jews. He was just like, black people do nothing for me. And it got me thinking like, how is a figure in the community, if there is a community, saying that like, we haven't got a community?
Yeah.
And it got me thinking like, do black people have a community, bruv?
No.
You know what I'm trying to say?
Do you
But before that, what would you define as a community though? Because I think it depends on what you see. Maybe PT's like interpretation of community is different to us, hence why he can see it like that. Because people actually see community as different things. Do you get what I mean?
Yeah.
So what would you say a community is to you? And then maybe we can try to see why
He thinks that.
PT thinks like that.
Yeah. Okay, but do you not agree with him, by the way?
before I even answer that question, what did he say that did inspire him, by the way?
He was just like, obviously, like from what he was talking about, like the unity and the structural wealth of like other communities is a great example.
Alright, cool.
Do you know what I'm trying to say? I'm not going to say any communities because I don't want to get any, Nick Cannon that. Do you know what I mean? I'm trying to hear that.
But he was saying a bit,
What did Nick Cannon say? Exactly, because
Well, I'm not going to repeat it. Just do your research. I'll send you the link. You read it. Do you know what I mean? Because
Before, you know.
yeah,
I like
I
my
won't say what
job.
he said, but
I
he
like my
was
job.
he didn't really say. There's some things he just shouldn't have said that was quite,
Offensive.
Yeah.
But
yeah.
Would you say it's
During-
offensive, or do you
not
think it's
offensive,
just
but
people?
but
could
I
just
feel
say,
like the backlash he's getting is a bit
Nah,
much.
do you know what though?
In a way.
Do you know what I was going to say? This again goes back to the point. Look at the power of that community. Fam,
Yeah.
I know people here in uni who have said certain things, and like that community have come on them hard. What?
Yeah.
Obviously, I don't say the office names, but like certain communities compared to our community, the black community,
Yeah.
we have nothing, bruv, in my opinion.
But you could say that because a lot of people say like in general, like the black community doesn't even support one another as it is.
Yeah.
So I kind of agree with what he's saying to an extent,
Yeah.
but not fully agree, because it's the black community that raised awareness. The whole Black Lives Matter all coming back up was
Yeah.
kind of like a black
It's
community
us.
thing. The death of one black kind of woke up
Yeah.
the rest of the black. So in terms of that, I would say, I just think we pick and choose when we want to be a community.
I think we're quite lenient than other communities.
Very.
Like we I don't want to say we're pushovers, you know what I mean, but we are quite lenient. We let something slide, whereas the other communities, nope, they attack you there
There's
and then, like
nothing.
Nick Cannon right now.
And you know, because you know what, even about you said that, let things slide, because I've got two topics to talk about that. But what got me thinking, I've done a bit of research in, and do you who remembers D&G, Dolce & Gabbana, and the Chinese boycott? Fam,
Oh no.
do you know about that?
I don't remember that.
But
no.
basically, Dolce & Gabbana done an advert with a Chinese woman, and it was a bit offensive to the Chinese culture.
Oh yeah, I remember.
Fam, you know all of the Chinese people, they boycotted it. Retailers was stopping them selling their stores. They saw a loss in revenue in the South Asian market from 25% to 22%. It's only 3%, but when you do, that's actually millions.
Numbers.
Yeah.
It's millions that they've lost. You know what I'm trying to say?
Yeah.
But yeah, we've got us man like Gucci doing blackface.
But they weren't with Gucci. I would say they boycotted that for a while, didn't
Who
they?
did boycott it?
No?
No, there's banter about that.
But then again, now Gucci's having a line with Gucci apparently, innit?
Gucci's having a line. Obviously, Gucci
yeah,
Mane.
Gucci Mane, yeah, like I guess
That's what I'm
so.
saying.
I see.
I think with black people, I think we don't have like, you see other communities have like a, let's say, a head of it that kind of leads that. Hence why a lot of things can't slide. With our community, we don't have it. Does that make sense? Like we don't have something that we know we can rely on in situations like Nick Cannon. He don't, apart from the people that are posting, oh, you know, allow him, da 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 da. There's no one to kind of represent him and back his people. Whereas other communities, they have that. They have like a figure that they already know. If you try with these people, there is somebody.
But I mean, P Diddy came to his defense.
Who?
He came to his defense, was like, don't worry, we got you on Revolt TV, did this and that.
But then my question is, would you say P Diddy is someone like you put high in the black?
I mean, I would. He's with Jay-Z. I would say, yeah. I would say Diddy has some substance. He's been there for a while. He knows the game. Even though he's done a bit of shady things with Maze and not paying him and stuff. On the other aspects, I would say, yeah, I would give him.
But I don't think he has a big of an influence.
He's got good enough influence.
But then when you compare it to other,
and he's got links. He's got good links.
He's got all the right links, but I don't think he's using the links, because if you compare it to other communities, boy, I'm not gonna lie, something that happened like Nick, for example, or just in general, a lot of the things that happen is just like someone said. Now all of a sudden Black Lives Matter has been toned down a lot.
Facts.
Everyone's calmed down about it because there's not that constant figure that's pushing.
I mean,
our community likes it. Hence why PT said it. He said, who can inspire him? And really and truly, he started on Fendi with Fendi. Now I'm seeing Fendi more than I've seen Fendi before. It takes one person to do something, everyone follows to a certain extent, and then it's done. And
I think that's why it's added that. That's why I can ask you that: are we a community or are we a trend? Because everything within the black community is a trend.
It is.
I think we are a community. Like, do you know what I mean? We support one another when we can.
Do we?
Yeah, I think we do. I would say to a certain extent, like, I agree with you guys. There can be, there's so much more that can be done, but I won't say that we are a community. I think we are. Like, I think we are.
You think
we are a community, but I just feel like as a community,
but we can do better. Way better. We can.
What? Okay, so like when that girl was talking about her earning 150.
God bless you. Yeah. See what I'm trying to say?
The IT.
We are not a community.
130k.
You know what? No, but that.
I know. She got plugged after though.
She got what?
She got plugged after. Like,
but that was disgusting. That's not
what
even.
She got plugged after they finished her.
Our community.
But
like our community.
Was it Alpha community that finished her though?
No, I think there was other people that finished her as
It
well.
wasn't actually the black community. I think she
black
plugged
people were
a lot of black.
involved, but it wasn't just black people that were getting onto saying that she's lying and stuff.
At the end of the day,
maybe we gave them the leeway to do that. Maybe we should have protected her.
And this is what I'm trying to say. It's like, but this is what I'm trying to say.
Disgusting.
This is what I'm trying to say, people. It's just like, in our community, yeah, who controls what? Because if you go to the Asian community, for example, like we saw with DNG, certain things can't run. Like, I can't go to Chinese culture or Chinese, an Asian culture, speak their language, and they'll accept me. I'm still an outsider. But yet, we've got man like Glitz speaking Yoruba in his raps, and yet he's one of us now. So it's like, why is it?
I think we're just too accepting.
Our
community, we like to.
I don't mind that though.
So is that saying that?
No, but the thing is, it's not the same. Okay, the best
accepted.
example, I think I was reading about it the other day. It's like, we're saying all of that, but in this country, we're British. We're not English. We're British. If I'm born here, I was born here. I'm not ever going to be a part of this community. Do you get it? I'm British, which is British and English people are two different people. English are white borns that are from here, and British, even though I am technically from here because that's where I was born, I'm not. I'm British because I'm from where my mum is from. So really and truly, they don't ever fully accept us. But us, someone can come to Congo now, they'll give him a Congolese passport, but he is not my people. Do you get it? That's what I'm trying to say. We're too accepting, and we let a lot of things slide, and that's why things go left for us. It's like if Nick kind of had the right support and the right community to follow him through, he may have not been finished the way he was finished.
But I think they are supporting him now.
But look, Instagram post. I'm not gonna lie. Someone said it was like everyone loves the post.
What they're doing behind doors.
But behind doors, we're still not seeing change. Whereas with, like Sam said, DNG, they boycotted it, and then 25 to 23% in the market. That's a lot of money.
But people are gonna boycott Viacom though, because it's just happened a few days ago. It happened this week, isn't it, or last week? So let's give the. Who knows?
Yeah, but I feel like I was some point in training football, and what you said as well, like, yeah, so what you're saying about letting people in, we need to understand that people, like, we see it with celebrities, we see it with other people, influencers, that they come into our culture, they take our, like, that's why there's culture appropriation now. Do
Yeah,
you get what I'm
cultural
trying to say? Because
appropriation.
people are making money off it and they're good heritage towards it. So when you're saying you like people come to a culture, you're right. I do love people. I love seeing a white man eat a bat and pound jam. I love it. But then when they now go make a restaurant in their town and making money off it, it's just like,
Obviously,
where's
that's
the
the part
respect?
obviously, that's the part I don't agree with.
You can't do that in
I don't-
any other culture.
Yeah, of course we do. I don't
Or
agree with that.
community.
They shouldn't do that.
But they
of
do.
course. But
So
I mean-
and it comes down to the fact of like, what can we like? Obviously, the whole point of this conversation is to like understand if we're a community or we're a trend, but it's also like kind of pick our brains and feel like, what can people do? Like, what can the
okay,
community?
quickly. What about this one? There? Have you seen the Jackie Aina thing with the J-Lo bangs? What she did when she attached curtains on it. So you know, with J-Lo, she's got bangs on.
What's
So
bangs?
bangs are basically fringes. And she done the baby hairs, but she done it as baby hairs. And then people are saying that it doesn't look good on her. People are saying this is like cultural appropriation and stuff. Like you shouldn't do stuff like that. Or so people are arguing, say, okay, who said baby hairs are for black people? Stuff like that.
Wait, what? I don't get it.
Basically,
you get it? Like-
J-Lo did a picture. She put a picture.
J-Lo,
up.
yeah?
J-Lo
Yeah,
put a
J-Lo
picture
put-
recently and she had like mad baby. It wasn't baby hair. It was basically like leave out. She just slicked it.
Yeah.
But obviously, baby hairs is like a
It's
black
a
community
black
thing,
community
innit?
thing, yeah, I get you.
But she's got clap from it. It's the same thing with like Kim when she did the cane roast, and all of a sudden she started cane roast with.
So I think it's a bit different in my opinion because with cane rolls and bantu nuts, all that started hairstyles, there's actually historic evidence that comes from Africa. That is actually originates from Africa. With baby hairs, from what I know, it's like pop culture. Like I've seen like Baby Boy the movie, or like I haven't seen that. I've not seen the history that says baby hairs and slicking it is a black.
But then
thing,
I
personally.
use Kim Kardashian's example. Do you think that that's even slightly taking the piss, or not really, or do you think it's just fine for her to do it?
I think it's fine for her to do it.
Do what?
But then
But
people,
I don't think.
But
but
It's
then
like,
people are saying
but
it's
it's like,
cultural appropriation.
but it's
so I
like
don't know.
What are we
Kylie when she
talking
started
about?
the whole lip
Kim
plumbing
Kardashian's
thing.
braids.
So okay, I'll talk about that. Okay, cool.
It's like when Kylie started the lip plumbing thing and making her lips look bigger, and everyone fell in love with it. But realistically, black people are known for having big lips. Would you also say that's not culture or whatever?
So going on both your points, yeah, the reason why I think the Kylie one is definitely a cultural appropriation thing, and it's a thing where we as a community we need to do better. I don't know how, that's why we're here, but we need to do better. Is because not only are them not making revenue off it, there were times when we all know in Belgium they had zoos to put black people in there to laugh at their features because they were a freak show. Do you get what I'm trying to say? Now that same figure is what celebrities are idolizing, go for body surgery for, and making money off it. Like, you see the violation in that. Like, there's actually people who've been killed, bantered, burnt because of their features, but now it's the in thing. Like, having big lips was a banter was actually, blackface is a great example of that. There was actually historic proof that showed that we were actually traumatized from this. So that people actually hated how they look. But now you've got one lady with this privilege enough to make it lit. I remember when, back to the braids thing with Kim K, she was like, Vogue was like, revolutionary, innovative. Look at the hairstyle. Wow. It's been on for hundreds of years.
The
But
whole
it's
point
cheap.
is like no,
She's
because
allowed to. That's the
but it's
thing.
just like in the workplaces. Like you can come in with your natural hair and it's an issue, but when you come in with straight hair, all of a sudden you fit in. It's unfair for me. It's like you can't pick and choose what you want to accept and what you don't want to
Yeah.
accept. One day it's not acceptable for you lot to go into school with your natural hair because it doesn't look right or it doesn't look formal, or it doesn't look professional. It's not okay. But then when one girl decides to blow dry her hair and it looks nice and she goes to work with it, everyone gets complex. It's unfair for me. It's like at the end of the day, you can't pick and choose which one you want to work with. Today you want to work with the braids thing because you know Kim's done it and it's acceptable. Not everyone can do it. And there's no one that can kind of, as much as we can talk about it now and raise awareness about the issue, it's still going to be an ongoing issue that's going to come generations later. And that's my issue. It's just like, are we always going to be in the predicament that we're in? Are we always going to be a trend that we start this trend but someone else takes it and makes revenue off of it?
I feel like I'm gonna go back to like the first original question regarding leaders in our community with Nick Cannon's situation. Even in his apologies, he addressed it. So obviously, I think he was addressing the Jewish community,
the
and then
rabbis.
obviously he was addressing the rabbis specifically, and obviously they're known to be leaders in the community. So I feel like with that,
I'm scared of my job. I'm scared.
But you're not saying anything.
I feel like that should be happening in the black community. There should be some sort of lead in the black community as well, where
You're apologizing
too, and then they can sort it out whatever. Because obviously, when Nick Cannon done it, he knew who are the leader in that community, etc.
No, but that's because they reached out to him. There should be someone in the black
Because of the
community to
unity.
reach out. There should be a unity to reach out and say, wait a minute, you're talking a bit too much. Like, you can't say that, stuff like that, because you won't actually know who you should speak to in the community, because everyone's equal. Do you get what I'm saying? But there should be somebody who's a leader to reach out.
But isn't that what he's saying though?
and
He's
say,
basically saying that, don't you think us black people should
But no,
have
he's- do you mean to have a leader?
Yeah, a leader. I mean that.
But you won't know who the leader is until the person reach out.
Because there isn't a leader in the black community. There isn't one.
There, yeah, because we don't have. Yeah.
And I think, do you know what? Because I've got loads of things in my head, but it's like, I see that as like a step-by-step issue. Because the fact is, because we have no unity, because we have no leader, there's no one to unify by us. And I think also as well, is like, I want to ask this, I've got two things to ask first of all, but it's like, is it okay to not have a community within the black community? The reason why I ask this is because being black is so diverse. And I feel like it's quite unfair for us as black people to kind of be forced into have a community. Because in this in between 5 of us, there's at least 2 or more communities between us individually.
Yeah,
Like,
but what do you mean by that?
So basically, like, I'm trying to say, like, for example, you've got the Nigerian community.
Yeah, but
then,
I think we should all be one, though. I don't think we should.
but
have
it's not that easy though to be one.
I
Let's
think
be
okay,
realistic.
cool. There should be a community within a community. Fair enough. Like,
But then
the
how many
Nigerian community?
But how many communities there going to be?
And
And
then
the
we-
whole of
we
Africa,
all
you're
come
splitting.
together as one.
No, but the thing is, that obviously that's lovely, and I agree with that in an ideal world, yeah. But it's like divide and conquer. Like, for example, me and you're both Nigerian.
Yeah.
I'm Yoruba. What are you?
Edo.
You're Edo. So already we've got our dissimilarities. And doesn't mean I don't like you, but like there's certain things you may do as an Edo person that I might be like,
So what? I
But
should
then-
have my own Edo community.
But you do. No, there is one.
Well, yeah, we've
There
got
is
it.
one,
We've
and
got
your
it.
Edo community is stronger than the black community. Facts. Because you're all alike.
I'll agree.
Yeah,
with that.
because we're all alike.
That's it
but
then.
But as one, we are one black community.
Yeah, but it's
I-
going to be, what he's trying to say, it's going to be
harder.
hard to find one mutual. There's too many different
There's
things.
too
It's just
many.
like me, it's like literally what he said, me and Hereb, we're both Congolese. But I'm even involved in like 3 different tribes because I'm split.
So
Do you
what are you
get-
gonna be in then?
So that's
You're
what I'm saying.
split.
It's going to be hard
It's
to find
harder
one
to have
common
one
ground.
common, yeah.
Because
So,
it's
what,
like,
so do you
that's
want
the
us to
dream.
have one community?
No, so I'm saying to obviously in an ideal world, the aim is to have a black community,
Yeah.
and that's going together for the one cause in it for
Mm-hmm.
black promotion and uplifting. But I'm trying to say the reality of it
Because
is
there's so many within it. There's
is
so many different causes.
so
going on.
what I'm trying to say, the reality of it is that should that even be like should we just say you lot? Nah, let's just be good people. But let me stick to my Nigerian. Like my community is Nigerian, or my community is engineer. I don't know. Like should I just say that this is my community and I shouldn't force a black community? That's what I'm trying to say.
I don't
Like
think-
what should we promote?
Okay.
Oh.
Should we promote an individual community that we know is more
I
tight
think we
knit?
should just
No, I
promote unity.
Yeah.
When one
Regardless.
stands, everyone just stands.
I feel like
it
if you
doesn't matter
promote
where
one
you're
community,
from.
you push over other communities. Do you get what I'm saying? If you promote your own, you're not inclusive of other people into your community
Yeah.
because they haven't got the similar things that you have. They don't understand your language. That's why I feel like we have a black community, but I feel like our black community should be stronger.
But can it though?
I feel
I think it
I
can.
feel like
Just
it
take
can
care.
if there's an actual certified goal. There's a certain plan of how we're all going to get there all as one, and everyone agrees
Quick.
to that goal.
I
If
want-
that doesn't actually happen, there's like you said, within Congolese community compared to Nigerian community compared to Edo and Yoruba, there's going to be so many different goals. Like no one's going to come to one certain agreement. If there's one
Yeah.
certified goal within the whole black community, is Gucci. Everyone's going to strive it together,
Yeah.
and everyone's on the same
Don't use
agreement.
Gucci by the way. But boycott Gucci.
Boycott Gucci. But, like it's cool. Like everyone's on the same agreement thing. Everyone's on the same page. No one's like doing this, doing that, doing that. Everyone's.
But is
together.
that possible though, you lot? Like,
I feel like
I
it
think
is possible.
I feel like we shouldn't limit ourselves and think,
Of
oh, is
course
it
not.
positive? Is it possible? Sorry, if white people can do it, Asian community
But
can
that's
do
the
it.
difference.
We can as well. Do you know what I mean? We are as strong as them.
No, but can I
We've gone through a lot. We can do it.
Can I just say, on that point though, that's why I say this, because in the Asian community, we're even being a bit stereotypical because it's not Asian community, it's actually Indian community, Pakistani community,
That's
Bangladeshi
what I'm saying,
community.
it depends.
Like they have.
But as a whole, we put
No,
them
but
as
yeah, we do, but they don't. Like I'm not gonna lie to you. If you speak to like, I wish we had someone of that background there. But if you speak to a Bangladeshi
Bangladesh.
person and you call them Indians, they'll be offended.
Yeah, of course.
Because-
If you know a person Bangladesh, you're not
No,
gonna call
but
them
the thing is,
Indian.
because there's history, then there's division there already. Like even with Pakistan and India, they're one before, you know.
Yeah, but now we know we're separate.
So my point being is that the Indian community is strong knit because they're all of one like region, or they're all of one background. Whereas with us, man, we're not of one background, we're for multiple backgrounds. So is it actually possible to have one community?
Yeah, but
Or should I'm just trying to say. Should we
so
just,
Nigerian, Congolese, I don't know. I don't know.
I get it.
That's not even
I
just
get it.
Africa. You have
And
you
the
still need to
Caribbean.
include the Caribbean, the islands.
because we see ourselves West Africa plantain.
But true though. But I feel
like,
like we do have our own communities, like I would say Africans and Caribbeans.
Even-
Yeah.
I feel
I'm
like
not actually. No,
I think
no.
we do. Come on,
I'm-
African community, Caribbean community, but
So-
together we're black.
I
I
just wanna say-
feel like they have their own.
Sorry to cut you, by the way.
No?
No, what I was gonna say as well, yeah, that I've realised is like, from my understanding, I think it is possible, by the way, what I'm saying, but I feel like it's gonna be a generational thing
Yeah, it's
because
not
do you know what it is gonna be as well.
Not today.
No, but the sad fact is, yeah, for that to happen,
Yeah.
we've got to be like the Americans, where like our history is so diluted. All we know is just being black. Like, because a lot of us are first generation, we still got strong links to like Africa,
roots,
back
whatever,
home.
yeah.
So that's why, like, when you're saying plantain, I'm like, it's plantain. Do you know what I'm trying to say? Because man knows, my dad says that. But when I'm so gentrified into the UK culture that all I know is just being black, man don't even know about Nigeria like that. That's when me and you can be like, well, one community because we're both black. That's it. That's what we got in common. Because your Congolese roots ain't that strong, my Nigerian roots ain't that strong. So we've got to stick together as black people.
Oh,
That's my opinion.
I get. So it's like knowing about your culture.
I think in a way that's what makes it a bit harder to have that common black community.
But
in my
knowing
opinion.
about your culture, isn't that something you should do yourself? Like you should try to know your culture, find ways to know about your culture. If you can't go join a community, as you said, no.
Oh, wait, you're saying that if you can't be part of a community.
Yeah, find your own type of cult. Like
No, but what Sam is saying is basically like, in order to have a holistic black community,
You basically got to
traditions should
be
kind of
diminished.
Diluted.
Diminished, yeah.
Westernized.
Yeah.
Have a kind of common ground in that sense. Like
I'll give
when
it.
you're
Oh,
so
okay.
attached to the motherland,
Yeah.
you're like, yeah, I'm Congolese.
yeah.
Do like, do you know what I'm saying?
It's facts though.
It's like, yeah, pounded jam.
But so don't you think that you are strong with your culture?
No, it's not about being strong with your culture, but we're just talking about the whole like. I'll give you a great example, right? Our generation is a better community as black people than our parents' generation.
100%.
Like, I'm not being funny. I don't think our parents can sit in a room like my dad, your pops, and talk the way we're talking.
I think their generation is better as a community.
No,
Let me
but
tell
again,
you what,
sorry,
no.
hold on, wait, hold on.
No?
Let me phrase it. They're better as a community, but
Community,
as
but as
as
an
a
individual,
black,
no.
as a holistic black community. How are they?
No. We are better as a black
That's
community.
my point.
But they
an
are
individual
better
community.
Yeah,
I think
they
this
are better.
generation
They
has
have more strong-
introduced the whole black community to our parents, because even that's one
Facts.
thing I was saying. I said growing up, we were talking about this crazy. We were talking about how growing up, I heard my parents bang on about the politics in Congo, politics. I did not hear about them bring change or what change they could try or where they can begin or where they can start. It's just talk amongst them. Whereas with this generation, I've seen protests, I've seen pressure groups, I've seen people actually trying to make a change. And that's why I kept saying I think the only way this whole black community is even going to happen is if we bring about the change. And I don't think we're going to be alive to see it, but I feel like it would be something that could be passed down, because one thing I've noticed that's different to our parents' generation is that we want change and we're taking all types.
I agree with that.
I'm gonna go back to your question about when you said in some sense for the black community to be united, in the sense you want it has to be similar to America where their culture is diluted and they don't know their history. I get what you're saying, but then my thing is that, for example, like I think Twitter were getting on to Beyonce for this when she's releasing her movie now.
Yeah, her black
her black movie,
African
and all that.
type of movie. She's
The
bringing
way
out something
the way
new.
it just looks like we're I don't know how to explain this in a sense.
We're
Like,
savages or what?
yeah,
We're
not
artifacts,
Savage,
like,
we're artifacts,
yeah.
whatever. And it's like
Like, can I add more context to that? I haven't
Like,
seen
so
it.
basically she's bringing out a movie that's gonna be like around the culture, black African type of culture, and I don't feel like a lot of people are happy with it, because it's like, you're bringing out the movie, but can the movie be played in Africa? So stuff like that. Is that what
I don't
you're
know.
trying to say?
No. It's just that it makes us. I don't know how to. Have you seen it?
Oh, it makes us feel like what? We're aliens or
No,
what?
aliens. It's like what we're some ancient creatures, and like now we're more modern and all that. And then
But it's because Americans don't really know about Africans.
and then
though,
that's
African
the issue.
culture.
I think that's the issue with it as well. Like when you're trying to show off our community to like other people, they're gonna be looking at like raw where. I don't know.
Oh,
which
like
are
Wakanda.
privileged
Huts and
and
that.
Wakanda forever.
Yeah.
'Cause I
Like,
know
like the way the way she released the movie is like a Wakanda forever kind of vibe.
I
When
think
really truly like we've grown, like we've matured, like as a
Well,
community.
It's not even the country itself has matured. The country don't even look like that
I
anymore.
think-
it's developed.
I
Africa's
think-
developed, like, and then I feel like she's still living in a like what?
I think
No,
with
because
Americans,
black,
it's just
British,
so.
we know ourselves. We know what
We're
Africa
first generation.
is.
Most of us are
Yeah,
first
I
generation.
feel like Americans, if you come for me, do it. But I feel like Americans, they don't really know about African cultures
don't.
like that.
They don't.
That's why in America, they proper push the whole African culture idea in your face so that
No.
they can learn from it. I
I
feel
feel
like
they push
But I
the
don't feel like they push it in the right way.
African American
the
culture
African
into
the African American culture, not our black British culture. I feel like we know what
But
Africa
apparently
is
there was an
and what
argument
we-
about how, you know, like in America, it's actually the ones that have come from Africa call themselves African American, and the ones that don't you know, they reach are just Black Americans.
Really?
Because they
I
actually,
never heard that.
because some of them
Yeah,
don't.
yeah,
It was
yeah,
there was
yeah.
a whole
Really?
debate
When I
about
went
it
when uni, they're like, a
because
lot of
some
them-
people don't
Say,
know
I'm Black American.
where they're
They
from.
don't know. They
Like,
actually
how you
don't-
can
they-
how can you
yeah,
claim
yeah,
Africa when you
yeah.
don't know where you're from?
Oh, but I think you can still say you're African American even if you don't know what part of Africa you're from. It's your roots.
I think, you know what? Let's be realistic here. Someone's gonna come for me. I don't care. But every black person reaches from Africa, whether you're Caribbean,
Yeah.
whether you're whatever, even if you're black, Afro, Latino, like listen, you reach from Africa. And I know some Caribbeans hate to admit that. Not all, but some of them really dislike the thought of like, and it comes back to what I'm saying as a community. It's just like, how are we gonna be one community when I remember.
There's some sublime issues.
You know what I'm trying to
underneath
say? And
here,
I remember even being Nigerian, I'm sure you're aware of this. I've had a lot of like slander about Nigerians, like we're monkeys. Some cultures are like don't marry them. Some cultures are like they're all 419. And I'm not saying we help our cause at all, but it's just like, how are we gonna be one black community if there's all this like?
little demise in.
Do you get what I'm trying to say? And it's divide and conquer sort of thing for the other communities that have got puff off this. Because back to what you lot are saying, yeah, about the community and letting people in, we see with Africa. Like, Africa is one of the richest richest resources in the world. But yet you've got people, a great example, in the Senegalese region, yeah. The French come there, ship all their fishes. Local farmers can't get no fish. They're making millions and billions of the fish industry. The country is suffering. Nobody is there. Like, Africa really represents the community that we have here.
Even going to Senegal, some people are trying to make a change. Like, example, Akon.
Yeah.
Trying to make a big change.
Yeah.
Trying to make a change. So
So that's the lead, isn't it?
It's not even
That's
just
the leader.
Senegal. It's
That's-
just
yeah, that's a
the
good
whole
yeah,
example.
Africa
Akon, I
until
would say, is
now.
a good black lead.
Yeah.
Even the petrol like issue.
thing, yeah. What's his name? The richest man in.
Oh, Dangote.
Dangote.
Dangote, yeah, I remember that. Yeah, I saw that,
He's
yeah.
gonna do something.
He's gonna
I refinery.
But I saw when
They need to make sure the
Dangote.
light comes on frequently. That's
But-
what they need to work
Because
out.
our lights are getting used here and that, like, even up until now, like, Congo has constant blackouts because obviously
Are you guys happy as well there?
constant.
Have you been there? I've never
No,
been
like
there.
obviously
You never been?
I want to go. I'm going next year. I'm so excited.
Have you been
But
before?
I've never been before, first time. But I'm very excited for it. But they said the only thing that you're just gonna randomly just sit down and black out because
Yeah.
all of our resources and everything is being used.
Yeah, that's how it is in Nigeria.
Go onto Belgium motorway, you will not fall asleep. Light is as bright as hell because you know where the electricity is coming from. But it's just natural. It's just like Africa as a whole.
But
Is literally a representation of what we are right now.
Yeah.
It's just divided. And until we actually understand and want to bring about change is when change is going to come. But really and truly, that's why I always say that I think our parents failed in that. Like, they didn't try enough.
Well,
Especially
some
the
of them
ones that
don't-
came
some
here.
of them
No.
didn't have resources to try. I
No,
feel like
d-
you can't say that they failed because some of them they left Africa to have a better life. In the
I'm talking
European
about, okay, let me say
countries,
some. I'm
so-
talking about some people were actually better off in their homeland than they are here.
I just want to say there's something that I saw, yeah, and someone said this. They were like, like my father survived, so I can live. And I feel like I don't think anybody that's in this country can say that their parents didn't try for them, because even if your parents didn't do other things, just growing up in this country alone is a privilege.
Yeah.
Do you see what I'm trying to say? Like, from the job opportunities, obviously, what you do of your life afterwards is your own personal problem.
Yeah, 100.
But I feel like, you know what I'm trying to say, we can't be hard on our parents. Like,
Oh no, I'm not
they
talking
did-
about.
They did what they
I'm
could
talking
at
about in
life.
terms of culture and upbringing.
Even
I'm
coming
talking
here, full
about
stop, is a
just
blessing.
about change. Like,
That's
whenever-
the thing, they change your life by coming here.
yeah, no. I'm in terms of them coming to the UK and building a life for us and sacrificing literally everything so that I can even be sitting here today.
Do you know what I'm trying to say?
I will applaud them because, like I said, I can never. Like, there's not enough thank yous for what your parents have done for you. Do you get what I
Facts.
mean? But what I'm trying to say is that the only thing that I feel like is going back home, I feel like nothing really happened back there. Do you get it? Like going back to the motherland, I can't sit down and think, oh yeah, do you know what? This is what my parents did. Like, they brought about some change, especially because you had more resources here. It's all about taking what you've got here and bringing it back home. I just feel like a lot of parents haven't took what they could have got here, the opportunities, and brought it back home. And it's like now we've kind of been given that work, and that's why I feel like eventually, we'll see that change, but it's going to be more about this first generation, which are willing to do it, which our parents, I think they just got comfortable. They did everything, you know. And to be honest, in a way, I think they paved the way for us to actually talk about it now, which means they did something.
Building houses and finding ways to.
I think it's more than that. Do you know what I'm trying to say? Every little you can do. Do you know what I'm trying to say?
Yeah, but I think the houses thing is like, some of my uncle was saying, he's like, I'm not gonna lie, like sometimes I think, why do I even have a house back home? I don't live there. I just rent it out. But what did that add
maybe
to?
he wants to, when he's older, will he go back to Congo?
No, he said he doesn't need to, but he said it was just the excitement of if you come to England, you know, you go back home and you build, and he's like, I'm building a house, money's going into my pocket, but what about my country? But he's like, I'm here and I'm paying taxes for this country, and what does it do to me? Being stressed.
But I feel like there's a lot of work that has to be done in Africa.
I feel
It's like maybe in your community you can start. No, I'm done.
I feel like it just it's a sense that I feel like first within the black community we've got to sort our sublime little issues first, and then as a goal reach a target where we all can like unite together. But again, that's gonna be. That's what
I'm saying. It's nothing that we're going to see now, but I just hope we put in work, like we start somewhere.
So like, the thing is that why I keep coming back to this topic about who controls our community and who engages in our communities, because there's, like we said with Kim Kardashian and everything, there's too many people and too many brands that are using, for great example, Black Lives Matter as a campaign for marketing. And I think that's bad mind. I mean, a great example is, did you not see when Children in Need said they're going to match Stormzy's £10 million pledge?
I heard about that, yeah.
Who?
Basically, Children in Need. Yeah. They said they're gonna, because you know Stormzy donated £10 million to get me. Yeah. They said they're gonna match it.
Why did he have to take Stormzy to do it?
And
for you to match it.
And that's exactly my point. It's just like, obviously, I'm happy that they're doing it. Happy Stormzy's doing this thing. But like, you've had this one for God knows how long. You've had this problem for God knows how long. Why is it just now? Because Stormzy's doing it.
And the thing is, you don't even want to sound like, oh, ungrateful, but it's like, as you said, why did it take you so long to match? Stormzy to do that? Stormzy had to match 10 million from his pocket.
No, he did himself by his own back.
Yeah, you know, from his, bank account, and then you as a charity, innit?
As an actual organisation.
An organisation
that gets donations every single year. Red Nose there and them things there. Do you know what I'm trying to say?
They should have taken the lead to do it. I think you should have taken the lead to now. And then we come anyway.
Because for me, that shows true like unity, and that shows you're back in the cause. But like great examples in Premier League, innit? Like I don't think watch football. They used to before the kickoff they'll take a knee for the Black Lives Matter. Yeah. But it's like it was nice, but it's just like
what's that the guy who done it in America? So he got backlash.
Got backlash.
He got backlash from it, but now you guys are doing it. So that means he was right for doing it in the first instance.
Do you know what I'm trying to say? And I feel like obviously taking
backwards, I would say.
Yeah, taking a knee like it is what it is. But I feel like I appreciate the thought. But it's just like I keep asking. That's why I ask: Are we just a trend? Because people jump on our thing.
I think we just are a trend. We are a trend.
Like, it's annoying.
In all honesty, we are a community, but we are a community that sets trends. That's what it is.
I don't want people to look at us like a charity either, though.
What do you mean?
Like, I don't know. I feel like people are just looking at, oh my gosh, look at black people. We need to help them. But I feel like you need to want to help people.
But
I don't know.
So if we look at the camera today, are we talking to the black community? We're talking to everyone.
I think everyone, not just
everyone.
Yeah,
I think it's to the black community, because I think we can only. We are the gateway or the gatekeepers of our culture and our community, and for some reason, everyone's got a key to it. For some reason,
yeah, because but
black community,
remember,
black community, what's black community?
But remember, we're in a white man's country. We can't do everything.
But we still have a community.
But then just because we're in a black man, not gonna lie, other cultures are not stopped because they're in the next man's country. But why is it?
Have you seen Palestine and Israel? Like, okay, I won't use that example.
But that's not. That's very sensitive right now as well. But it's just like, let's say for example, the Christianity community is everywhere. It doesn't stop. It started somewhere, didn't it?
Yeah,
but it's everywhere. And that's the same with, like, for example, we said the Jews. They're everywhere. But with the black community, we're selective. We pick and choose.
No, we're everywhere, but we're just not impactful.
Yeah, at all. There's no black. You can't go to every country where a black person, you know what they do.
Can I say though? It's like, but like, I feel like the reason why is because our parents, when they come here, they're just like, I'm here. I don't have papers, not yet anyway. I just want to get my money. I
Yeah.
just want to send money back home. I don't want to shake any table.
Yeah, facts.
Yeah.
So do you think we're living in fear, and that's why?
No,
No,
really,
no.
we aren't living in fear.
We're
now,
living.
They
Yeah.
were living in fear because if you don't have papers,
okay,
what
that's
more
what I
can?
meant, America.
That's another thing we should have said earlier. There's a reason why they can't do much here or over there
Compared.
because they don't have papers. As soon as they get
They
caught,
didn't.
they're nabbed.
They didn't.
didn't have papers.
Yeah.
Sorry, we
But
have
that's got
papers
passport
now.
still. I'm clear.
We got papers.
Fuck the
Okay,
Home
we
Office.
made it. But
Man said, fuck the Home Office.
there's a lot of things.
I don't want it. I don't know problems.
They kind of pass that down to us. Like,
Yeah.
they want to shake tables.
Yeah, that's the
Yeah.
word. Because you know what? To add on that point, yeah, like I think we overlaid to that. I think we have to come in before. It's like I remember a great example when I was ACS president. My pops was a bit cautious. He was just like, "What? You're gonna put ACS president of Africa?" He was like, "Bro, are you sure?" I was like, "That is good. Like it's lit." But because in his time, being proud to be African was like looked down upon.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? It was banter. You're getting ridiculed. And it's like, he kind of low-key was trying to nearly pass that same fear to me. Whereas, obviously, we're lucky now. We live in a time where it's just like, being ACS president got me a job, my placement job. Like, I'm proud to be, even a good example, I remember, because I do a lot of work in diversity in engineering. So I told my dad, he was like, diversity? What is that? So he genuinely didn't understand that factor that there's actually work now being done to diversify the industries. Because in his time, bruv, head down, just get my paycheck, and bust out. Don't get me, like you said, build your empire back home and them things there. But my dad, like, he didn't. Don't get me wrong. He always let me know, like, son. And this is another thing that is the issue of our community. It's the fact of, from a young age, we have to know that we're different to these people.
Yeah.
Like, from young, my dad always told me, son, you're black. Be careful. Like, that phrase alone is mad. Like, why should I be black? Because why should I be careful because I'm black?
To add on quickly then, so won't you say like the reason why maybe the black community isn't really a community or we can't seem to progress is because we have other obstacles that we have
Facts.
to face?
That's a good point.
Like that's what I was saying, it's quite hard for us to move and do stuff because obviously we're black, we're facing racism and there's like stuff we need to do that possibly can't make us be a community.
Yeah. I think, no, that's a good point actually. Because I think as well, it's just hard because we say that though, but then like Remy brought up, when it comes to negativity, we're all together.
Yeah.
What do you mean?
What do I mean?
When there's something negative on the side,
Shall I give multiple examples? One example is the 150k girl job. When it was, this is another topic I've got to ask as well, guys, is that like, there's a lot, we come together when there's a lot of bad things, negative news. Like for some reason, the black community is attracted towards negativity.
Isn't
Like,
that normal?
like a great example.
Funerals when everyone comes together.
A great example. Do you remember that drip spotter page?
Yeah.
That's
Oh
fake
my
drip.
god.
That page got
That
24k followers in a week. But let someone post something positive. Who's getting that many followers?
Yeah.
Unless
they
you're
love
bait.
to see negativity outing out people. That's why these Insta
I
blogs
think
have a
it's
lot of
that's what
followers.
it
I
is.
even give a good example as well. Zizi Mills, she interviewed that girl that done the crisp thing that got into Selfridges. Yeah, Vivi Diamonds.
Yeah.
And
Plantain.
what's it called?
Is
She
it
done it. I
plantain
think she even
chips?
done it the week before she done Gills or the week after Gills. The views difference was mad,
See?
and then she even pointed it out like saying, "Fam, you lot allowed negativity." So like, yeah, it's true.
So, but why are we a community for that, but we're not giving anything else? Why is it that there's no doubt that
Maybe-
everyone comes
don't you
together, get to say, and okay, go on.
Is it because like we're used to negativity? I
I
guess.
think that's what someone
Not
said
like-
it. I was
That's
speaking
bad. I'm not
to
saying-
no. Like it's so bad to say, but we're
She was
used
very shy.
to.
She was like, "Please,
Like not shy, but it's like maybe because we're used to seeing negative stuff. Like it's like when we see positive stuff, oh yeah, she's doing well. But when we see positive stuff, we do support it though.
Nah, I feel
It
like
doesn't
we're
get as
numbers.
much support as it should.
There's-
And I think
yeah.
someone said that before. I remember I was talking to somebody and they said that this is not something that started now. It started from years ago and it's been passed
It's
down
a
for
mindset thing,
generations.
innit?
We've always kind of been fed negative things.
Yeah,
Hence why it's easy for us to jump at negative
Assimilate
than
with
it
it.
is to
Yeah.
positive things. It's because it's something that's been instilled in our minds
Yeah.
from generations back. Remember, like he just said, like back in the day, all the big features and that, and having a big forehead, like people used to not want to talk about it. Everyone used to try to do fringes to hide it and stuff. But now, when everyone's embracing their forehead, big girls with forehead are the pengest girls about apparently.
Yeah.
But it's just all of these things where it's like we're learning to come out of negative. So it's going to
time.
take time because it's like all we've ever been fed is negative things, especially because of the color of our skin. From young, you're growing up. Don't wear a certain way because the police might stop you and you're black and they're just gonna
Yeah.
think you sell drugs. Like there's always something. Oh, don't dress a certain way. They're gonna think. it's always been like that with us, with the black community. Hence why when there's negative things, it's easier for us to jump for joy and support it than it is.
And then even with
Positive.
I feel like even when a positive comes, I feel like there's some sense that like you're happy for that person, but you're like, where's my own? Like,
Yeah, like
and then the positiveness for that person, it just goes down because you're thinking about yourself. Whereas,
But that's
like,
individually. That's individually.
I feel like, but not.
But it's kind of like, okay, let's give this is an example, because I don't know if you can use this, but someone said it. Someone was like, for example, the whole snow situation that happened in it.
Oh.
Obviously, he was working with an organization. I think it
Yeah.
was a charitable organization. But obviously, the thing that happened was quite negative. So everybody
Jumped
kind of
on
wanted to pull out.
Yeah.
Would you have said
I
that even
think-
though he was at fault or something that happened, we don't know whether he was at fault or
Yeah.
not, that happened years ago, we should have still supported him because it was a good cause that was coming out of his
Yeah,
thing?
I don't think that cause should have dropped him out straight away.
Nah,
Do you
I'm-
think
I'm
they should
sorry-
have
nah,
dropped it out straight away?
I'm sorry.
I don't
Do you know why? Do you know why? Because I had a similar mindset with 6ix9ine, and when he donated money to the children,
and they didn't accept
They
it.
didn't accept it, and I was like, but it's doing a good cause though. But at the end of the day, the principle still stands. Blood money shouldn't be used to build houses and build like a hospital. Do you get what I'm trying to say? The foundation has to be pure, in my opinion. So if somebody on something is affiliated, something that's negative, dissociate yourself from that. We can't encourage that. We can't say to a rapist, "Oh, you're donating billions to this charity. We love you now." You're still a fucking
Okay,
rapist.
it's not about loving
it's
you,
not
but
that we're about love you.
I'm just saying, like,
What if he's
we
changing?
should no, but then people that are negative can now be like, oh, okay, so all I've got to do is just donate to this charity now.
Of
I
course
get,
not.
but that's what
if,
I'm saying.
What
like,
if no? But what if he's changing? Like he's trying to change. Obviously, I don't condone his actions. I'm just saying, what if the person
Was it
who
confirmed
did
about
something?
it?
I don't know.
Hey, before
I
anyone
know.
continues,
But I'm not
no one
talking
knows
about
anything.
him.
Yeah.
no
I'm
one
talking
knows
about
anything.
it in general. I'm just saying if the person done something bad in the past and whatnot, and they've moved on from it, they've changed their stance and they want to give money, would you not want to accept it, or do you think they should still decline it because of his past?
I don't know. I think it's techie because in certain situations, yeah, you got to remember that some actions have consequences. So I know some people who have been in a situation of like sexual assault and stuff who've nearly committed suicide.
Yeah,
And I don't feel like any amount of money is going to change the experience. I don't feel like any amount of I don't know, that doesn't make sense.
Yeah.
So I feel like I get what you're trying to say. That can people
that
change?
was the scenario I gave was just something.
Yeah,
a different scenario, innit? When
Yeah.
it comes to sexual assault, I just feel like point blank.
Yeah, but I just feel like I get your point that like people can definitely change.
But I'm
and
seeing it. I'm coming
should
from
they?
a Christian angle.
Yeah,
Yeah, and the
Like you have
Just-
to
give it.
no one condones your actions. What
Yeah.
you did was wrong.
Yeah.
But at the end of the day, if someone's asked for forgiveness, you repented. Like I said, at the end of the day, if he's repenting, asked for forgiveness, God might accept him in heaven. And you that was living holy, you did one thing
You
and you
didn't
never asked for
accept it.
forgiveness for it,
Yep.
and you never entered. So for me, it's like from when it's for a good cause, we're not disregarding what you've done because obviously what you've done is wrong. But do you really want to just close the chapter in that person's life because of what they did?
But
'Cause
like
at the
I
end of the day,
said,
you don't know
So
how
then
he's
that's
done
another
it.
topic for forgiveness. Why aren't we so?
No, Remy, go on.
We're not forgiving.
Say that when you're outside.
exactly, fam. When you're in the situation, it's mad.
Yeah, of course. But then, as she said, look at it from a Christian point of view. Do you
No,
know what I
that's
mean?
fine.
You
But
have
no,
to-
but listen, you can forgive.
Yeah, of course.
That
Sometimes it's not easy to even say, even if it's not you, because you could have gone through what the person went through. But
That's
you're gonna
crazy.
change. That, of course, that's crazy. But it happens. People have
No.
gone through what somebody has gone through.
True.
But they
And they have dealt
look at
with
it
it
from a
differently.
Christian
That's
point
fine.
of view.
Like,
Do you get what I'm
a
saying?
good
Not everyone's
example.
gonna look at it like that. But sometimes you have to look. It's gonna take you time. I'm not saying just one day you're gonna change your stance and be like, yeah. You have to be.
I don't know because I feel like end of the day, yeah, like I just feel like I get what you're trying to say, that if somebody has done something bad, there should be a good opportunity to change and be accepted
and
for
I
their
feel like
change.
we don't do
and I feel like to some extent, cool. Like I definitely hear that, but there's ways to go about certain things. Like there's ways, like if you are a paedophile and you're a known paedophile and you've changed your life, don't go to a school and try to do charity work. It makes no sense. Like it's common sense, but know how to help the community in a way that is smart. If that's your aim,
Oh, so you're basically about 6ix9ine.
just in general,
In
just
general.
just in general, like even with whoever you're talking about, yeah, just like, bruv, if you like, you can't blame people for dropping you because again, with brands, with association, it's a big thing. Like, do you remember when Reebok dropped Rick Ross because he made a line in his song about drug raping a girl? They dropped him.
Yeah, but
Because
that
it's
is
so
that.
simple.
Yeah,
no, but
that
at
is
the end of the day, you can
can't
say,
pick and
but then
choose,
you can say,
innit?
oh, it's music. He's man make music.
No, I'm not saying
I'm
that
just
it's
saying to you, like,
music,
he
but
could
that's
be
mad.
like, you know what I'm trying to say? Like, at the end of the day, yeah, we can't condone somebody for their actions, and we can't condone someone. Like, your past is your past for a reason. That's what they tell you to be careful. And to flip it as well, about the point you mentioned earlier as well. There was something that Lippy said. Shout out to Lippy as well. He said something like, in his lifestyle, he had to go on a time in his life where he had to carry a knife, had to do certain things, and he's changed his life now. And people are bare like, well done, bro. Let's see that. Let's see that. But then he's like, there's bare man in that he knows that have not done what he's done, but are doing good in life, but they don't get the same support and the same like encouragement from the community. So it's like, again, why are we so attracted to like a supportive of like even gang culture? To be fair, you know what I'm trying to say? We're always like, oh yeah, he's lit, out of the hood, everything. But there's bare man who are good youths that are doing well in life but are getting no support.
Yeah, I think it's just based on the fact that they were in a gang and doing bad stuff, but they were able to come out and live the life that you should. I don't want to say should be living, but
I just say better life.
Huh? Yeah,
Better
living
life.
a better life. It's just the fact that you're able to come out of a bad situation and living a better life, the life that we should all be living. Do you get what I mean? I get what you're saying, that somebody who's already been living that life, they're not getting the accolades, but that's something you should have been doing. People then stray from it, do bad stuff. They're not able. I don't know. I get what you're saying, but then it's just like, I feel like you have to give the people the accolades for moving on from a bad situation into a positive
But he's saying
situation.
so only. What I think you're saying. I think you're saying only certain people who have got a status in a sense are getting accolades, whereas a normal person who may not have who's done well, who's doing well now.
Status in what sense?
So he's given the example of Lippy. Let's be real, he's got status on Twitter.
Yeah, but I think he was trying to say, are you talking with status or without? If you have with status or without?
I can talk without status.
Without status. Oh, without status.
Because
I don't think that without status people get much praise, in my opinion.
so you think that without status, an ex fraudster, gang member, whatever,
Who changed his life?
doesn't get the same, doesn't.
praise. Who's
He
someone
does
who,
get praise.
Nah,
He
Does
gets
he?
way more.
He doesn't get as much praise because obviously, that, like you said, it's a status.
No, but we're comparing that person with average Joe that's lived his life. So I'm saying that somebody with status that's been as an average Joe that's lived his life a good way, and a gang member with status, the gang member will get more praise for his lifestyle than the average Joe with status.
Yeah, that's what I was saying.
Yeah,
that the
that-
gang
yeah.
member,
fair
obviously, because he
enough,
went through a bad stage,
fair enough.
he changed, so he's able to move from
It's
it.
all about that change. It's motivation.
Yeah,
for
it's
people. You see when you're already
motivational.
doing good, like
That is something.
But it shouldn't that
You should
be
be
the
doing
role
good.
models
You
then?
should still get clapped
be
That
for
should be
it.
that should be the role models then.
yeah, but the
Why
thing
is
there's
is the K trap no second? Why is Flip Gangstar
because
the role model for the
people-
Yeah, but it's
community?
Yeah,
because there's
because
not
people
also
in
enough
gangs.
average Joes that are speaking up about it. They're
Yeah.
not
Because-
voicing it. So
because
how
the
are we
community,
meant to know
the community
about it?
doesn't encourage
No,
that.
but it's
No,
that's
it's
not. I don't
not.
know
It
because
doesn't.
I
I
know.
don't think you can say that
The
because
community
there are
doesn't.
people, there are kids who are,
There's a lot of good guys that are speaking up about.
yeah,
And
But they're not getting
the
the.
accolades.
Accolades.
It's the
But
norm.
it's also about attracting the right
people.
people.
Like,
why
it's
do you
about-
have to do
it's-
that? Why do you
That's
have
my
to do
point.
But I
that?
feel like that's
I
something
one voice.
general.
It's about what you can, what's that word? That you can,
Don't say resonate.
no,
Don't say
that
resonate.
you can share similar experiences with.
But you
can't
don't-
change.
you're not a trapper though,
No,
but
wait,
you love
no.
trappers.
I'm an average Joe. I will be able to share my experience with somebody who's average like me. If I'm trying to speak to somebody who's in a gang and I've never been in a gang, I can't share my experiences with that same person. So that's why when people who used to be in a gang and they've changed their lives and they get to speak to people who are in gangs to change their life, they get a bit more accolades
But
for
then-
it
well, then
in that way.
my question to you is, why does the gang guy get more accolades than you, the person who's doing the right thing from the get-go?
Yeah.
I don't know. I just feel
Yeah,
like
exactly.
I just feel like
I personally think it just depends on how you put yourself out there. Because
I-
it's just
You
for
can't say
example,
that. You can't
there's
say
an
that. You
answer
can't
for
say that.
everything.
no, but also it's what life is actually like. That it's just the opportunity that comes with that is life. It's an opportunity. See, with a gangbanger, it's because it's seen as it's such a big thing in this community.
It's
that
glamorized. It's glamorized the community.
Yeah, it's seen
That's
as
my point.
There's
Why
it's
is
not
that?
glamorized in a good way as well. It's just the fact that if they see a
It's glamorized.
gangbanger that's he's changed his life now. It's like, come on, like, why do you want to live that life when someone can come out of
We
this?
need to remember
and
not
become
everyone
this?
can be praised as well. It's only certain people. Not everyone can be praised at the same time or at the same rate for stuff. Like, I feel like when gang members who've changed their life and they're doing something good, you should praise them because it will just be influential to other
But it's
people.
just like in
I
school.
think
It's like in
that's-
school.
I
Just
feel-
because
that's
the
low-key
naughty one has
cap.
finally caught up with everybody that you should constantly clap for him.
That's
But the one
low
that's
key
always been
cap,
hitting the
bro.
grave.
Because I feel we're all human beings here, and we all like was encouragement, no matter who you are. Like, and I feel like this is what I'm trying to say to you about the community only drawn to negativity, and we're glamorized because it's like we said earlier. Like, you can have a podcast about a gang member doing the roles, the drilling, changed his life. 100k views, 200k views, lit. Aye, my guy. And you're saying resonating as well. From what you're saying, the majority of black community are basically gang members.
No, I'm not.
Because for you to say that like gang member culture resonates for a lot of the black community.
No, I didn't say that.
So-
I
so-
didn't say
so-
that gang member culture resonate for a lot of black people. I said it resonate with people who were in gangs.
So, but is that a majority?
But that's not majority of black people.
So,
I'm
but,
not
so why
saying that.
why are black people drawn to that then?
Huh? No, but I'm saying
I
when
think it's what you just said. It's just black people are just drawn to negativity.
No, I
So
just
seeing
said if
come
somebody
from a negative background and a negative influence and change and come into a positive influence, more people are like even me, like I've never been around that kind of lifestyle, but it does intrigue me when I see a gang. But oh my god, he flipped his life around. But really and truly, I should be intrigued by the person that's been living the perfect life from the get go, because that's kind of like the life that I've been living. But I don't know why. I think it's just literally like back to what I said. It's like we've just been fed negative from young, and like naturally we just gravitate to negativity without us even knowing. Because I feel like everything starts from somewhere. Mm-hmm. So why is it that we feel like, oh, this one flip the gangbanger that's done this is better than John, who's been living the righteous way his whole life?
Yeah, sometimes ex-gang members who are black are able to, relate to ex-gang members who are also black. And that's why maybe they get the much accolades, because they've come from a bad background and they changed their life.
I think we've got to be clear, like no one's denying the beauty in that story and the positivity in that story, not at all. But I think what it comes down to is just the fact of, within the black community, if we're going to say the black community, we have to admit there is some sort of glamorization in gang culture. And I think in that as well, it does tend to draw more people to that lifestyle, because now you're getting good youths who have no reason to be involved in gangs.
But then I think what my point is, why I think it goes back to the point where everyone slightly glamorizes it. I feel like everyone loves a movie or like a story where the guy is the bad guy, did this, and then he's changed his life around, whereas the average Joe has been consistently through, whereas the guy's gone through ups and downs, trials and tribulations, and now he's hit the straight and narrow. And then I feel like that's why it gets slightly maybe more attention than what it does. It shouldn't. Don't get me wrong, I agree with it. It shouldn't. But I feel like that's what it does, because everyone likes a story, and I feel like that's the story that comes.
So
that's the story that sells.
But
to be honest.
can I ask a question though? So then, what message is that for the future generation though? Like if I'm a little boy and I've gone on Twitter and I'm seeing my average Joe who's got a 60k job, doing really well, no love, no support. He's doing well, but it is what it is. But I go on Twitter and I'm seeing Trapper Dundee, like, get me, with the mad lifestyle, everything. What
it's
should I
because
do?
of their life though, because they might be going through something. For example, they need money, they want to buy trainers, they want to do this, and joining a gang, sometimes that's the quickest way for you to do it, to get it. That's why sometimes it's not just a movie. This is people's lives. Like sometimes they have, do you know what I mean? It's the struggle for money for you to survive, that sometimes the best way to do it is selling drugs, is going into a gang and stuff like that.
Some good people.
I'm not talking about the good.
They haven't resorted to that.
Huh?
But I think
but you can't say that. You can't just say tick for tack because somebody has done, someone who's good, they've done that. Why can't you be like that good person? They're not like
just
that good person.
I'm not saying that, but I'm saying like, because a lot of people, like you said, are drawn to negativity and stuff. And okay, cool. They, their life circumstances have caused them to go into that. Mm-hmm. Why is it that the good person who they may have gone through maybe similar life circumstances, or maybe even worse, in fact, but they still decided to stay on the straight and
maybe
they still don't have that same recognition.
Maybe they're not as pushed. They're not pushed to the extent
by the community.
Huh?
They're not pushed as much, but by the community.
Maybe they're not pushed as much, or they're not pushed to go into the gang route. They've seen and they
but they
there's circumstances. I just feel like there's not always gonna be one answer of why that person did that and you couldn't have done that. Do you get what I'm saying?
I feel like as well with both what you're both saying as well. I feel like it relates to your upbringing as well.
Yeah.
I feel like.
Can I just say something? We're not talking about why people go to gangs, by the way. That's not the conversation.
Yeah.
We're trying to say that, like, what I'm trying to come out of this is just like,
why is one glamorized more than the other?
and within our community, because if you go to the white community or another community, like, I don't see it being glamorized as much. And my point being as well, because I asked this question, is gang culture the black community?
No.
But you know what? Now that you
can't
said
say that,
do you really think it's glamorized? Because not gonna lie, the whole gang culture is not really. I think it's more this generation that glamorizes it compared to like the older generation. Because Being
Nah,
a gangbanger.
I think
I
no,
go
it's
for like
not.
the previous
I think it's the
previous
previous. They
generation
see it all from
glamorized.
your old. You see it from the olders. You want to be
Do you
like
know-
the
I
older.
think like when I think of like my parents and I don't
Yeah, but that's your parents. We're
I'm
not talking
like,
about.
the older
like
than us.
We're
I
talking
think the
about.
older lots is but the thing is you need to understand we're living in two different times as well. I think at the end of the day we're kind of like following what the previous generation has done, but in our own way, in a way. So it's like that was their reality. That's just not our reality. But it's just glamorized because those are the people that are talking about it now. Like for example, Carl Loco, he was.
I can't lie, I don't know this kind of guy.
I was even gonna say that as well.
You
You
don't
guys
know who
don't
Carl
know
Loco
who he
is?
is. He's good, guys.
Oh,
Carl
okay.
Yeah.
He grew up like
In the get, he
Ghana,
was.
yeah.
Of course you would know. Yeah, everyone knows about him.
No,
Tell me the good
wait.
you that
Hey, wait.
made it in
Is he
Wait,
from
Carl
UK or
Loco,
America?
don't be fooled. He's a big dog. He's tax bracket.
Yeah, he was
He
bad.
makes
He was-
money.
I
He
never
was
seen-
a
I don't-
gangbanger from Peckham or Brixton, one of the ghettos. Like he was in the slums, and
he was on 90s baby shows. So
and
Yeah.
yeah, watch him. And honestly, when he tells his story, the way he transformed his life, no one will believe it. And the stuff that he's seen or did as well, and then now he started working for Richard Branson. Richard Branson, and he makes money. And his transformation, and when he talks about the things that he's seen, his reality and where he's become now, I guess it does motivate a lot of people because he's come from. That was his reality of his generation. Do you get it? Yeah. And weirdly enough, we shouldn't really glamorize it because that's not what we're living through. But we kind of.
But
do.
can I say something? Do you see the energy you're not supposed to be talking about it? That's what I mean, though.
No,
It's
but
just
I
like,
think it's just the
why
fact
it's so
that-
lit to you lot.
No, but
No,
I'm
but
not
it's
proud
not-
of
it's
where
not-
he's
it's
come
not-
from.
No, I'm
proud
not
of
saying
where
that. I'm just saying
Guys,
that
it's
that,
not-
that the investment you lot have. It's not bad, by the way.
Yeah.
But it's like, do you have some energy for someone who didn't?
Yeah, you
even-
would.
Yeah, but I
Do
would.
you?
The thing is, I don't know
When
enough. I don't know enough.
My friends haven't, or people I know, they've done good things. I will have the same energy for them. Okay, oh my
No,
gosh,
but even
good.
so,
But it's just the fact that you
sometimes
would
as well,
think.
the ones that are actually doing good, I don't know. It's not out there as much. Do you get it? There's not much of a push. I could talk about Carl Loco because Carl Loco has put himself out
but
there.
it's-
He
what
didn't.
it's space there. It's the
Why
space.
isn't it out there?
Yeah.
Yeah, but that's what I'm
That's
saying.
not
But
our
the
fault.
thing is,
Maybe
the
that's
space-
the person.
You're
That's
part
what I
of the
said,
community.
It's
There
about
is pe-
finding the right platform.
Because
as well.
Remy said herself is that there are people out there doing it, but they haven't got as much of a push. So you can't say that because at the end of the day, I'm not denying what you lot are saying, by the way. I'm just saying that like we can't say there's not people out there talking about their good life in the same way Carl Loco's doing it. But at the end of the day, the way you were smiling, the way you were talking, your energy was in.
Yeah,
like
do you know why,
you
though?
were. But can you say that?
But that's different as well because I'm looking at.
But I can just
Later,
say, but obviously, because at the end of the day, let's not lie. Majority of the black community are more interested in Carl Loco's lifestyle than in some guy you're gonna mention's lifestyle. That's just it.
No,
But
then
and you
go
can't.
on, go on.
But that's the
Can't
truth,
say-
though.
Do you know what? I just feel like it's just the fact that you've seen somebody who was in the ghetto, in the streets, and it's just the fact that you would think they would stay like that, but they were able to change. It's just the fact that they, because you know it's hard for ex-gang members, people who've gone to prison, to come
It's
out.
hard for anybody who's
but
gone
it's
through
no,
something.
Yeah, but
no,
also
but
the
it's
average
harder for ex-gang members or people who went to prison to come
So
out and now
I've
change.
got to go to jail before I'm recognised. That's
No,
what I'm hearing
that's
from you
what I'm
lot.
trying to
But
say.
also-
I'm trying to say it's hard because you have now a criminal record. It's the fact that you're able to change.
Wait, hold on,
Bruv,
Sam,
I don't know. You're making me
And then it goes back to my point, was saying like everyone likes a storyline. So like he's gone through the hardship, whatever. Not saying you have to do whatever you want to do, but everyone recognizes that you've gone through
Bruv,
it. And
we're
then
glamorising
And
it,
also,
bruv.
no,
Hey,
but
then it
it's-
gets
but also
glamorized.
you
Like,
need to
Sam,
don't-
I'm not
And
saying
like
it's right, by the way.
we show more support to that. In my
No, but
opinion.
what you're forgetting as well,
We show
yeah,
more support to
a
that.
lot of the time is people have gone through a struggle, and that's why they can relate to somebody that is talking about a struggle. Whereas some of the average Joes, they don't know what struggle
Struggle
is.
That's not.
is.
I
Don't
cannot.
do
Some
that.
of them
Don't
don't.
say
I
that.
said some. I
Don't
didn't say all.
that.
Some don't. But
Some don't
you
know
don't
struggle
know.
is. They
Everyone,
just
some
go
people
cruise through life.
There's some people
Bruv,
you
not
meet.
gonna lie
I've
to
met
you.
people
Hold
that
on,
said
hold
their
on.
We
life
saw
has
some,
been
by the way.
normal.
She didn't
No.
say all.
Yeah,
No, but
yeah.
I've met people that have literally said that I've never really been through a struggle.
Yeah,
apart
fair
from,
enough,
Like,
fair
and
enough.
that's what I'm saying. But obviously, there should be more awareness of those people that have made. For example, like the 130K, we don't know her struggle, but what she was doing was very, very positive. She was plugging people. Like, look how many people now I'm seeing on Code Twitter, Black Girls, Code Twitter. But she plugged a lot of people with her knowledge. But she received so much backlash and
And that's
what I'm trying to
negative
say.
things from it.
I don't-
When
That's
we-
our community, though.
But it wasn't
I'm
mainly our
motivated when I see
community
people
though. It wasn't
struggle,
actually
can't lie.
majority of our community that
But-
actually backlashed her though like that.
But obviously, I can't lie to you. From what
She
I saw
just
on
didn't
Twitter,
get-
From what?
I think she just didn't get the right people to kind of like put them people into place.
I'm
But I don't
motivated
know, I
when I
just-
see
I just
people
feel like-
struggle because I feel like that's just easier for me.
What?
Like I'm motivated when I see people struggle because it's like I've struggled, so I can relate to people who have struggled.
It's all about
I think
relating.
it's all about
I just-
how you relate with people.
But again, I want to make sure that we put out the same thing here. I'm not talking about struggle. I'm talking about if there's a gang member struggle and gang related struggle,
Yeah.
there's more energy towards that than if there was a struggle of a normal person who didn't go into gang culture.
Oh, you said a
who's
struggle
still-
But what
normal
struggle
person.
did a normal person go through?
Wait,
A
hold
normal
on, hold
person
on.
don't
I'm
really
sorry.
struggle.
No,
Mention
sorry.
a story of someone who went through, like, they were in the same scenario around gang members and stuff, and they could have easily fell into gang.
My boy got
Yeah,
stabbed
but
by a
then
doctor. He didn't
that's a
get
good
involved in
story
gang
as
life.
well.
They said they don't want to do it. Now they're going into finance, stock investments and stuff like that. They're going on platforms talking about it. No one's listening. No one is listening.
Are you
That's
sure?
how you
No
sure,
one's
man,
Are
said
you
that
sure
you-
no one's listening? Because I've heard stories like that before. People speak on it, and it's
You haven't.
You know, it's
All
a
you
story.
hear.
Well, you can
all-
say I haven't.
all
I
you-
mean,
I was gonna
But
say,
anyway.
all like, and I'm, by the way, I'm not talking about Remy, a great example. I'm not talking about like individual cases. I'm talking as a community. Like, if you go into the community and you were to tweet a famous gang, whatever's name, like, we know his storyline. But if everyone tweets about my man, no one knows who he is. And
But
that's the thing that it's like, we're not saying everyone in this room has gone through a struggle. None of us are gang members though. Do you see what I'm trying to say? We could have been, but especially with myself.
We still ain't
like,
gonna be heard. That's the
like
question.
you said, I could have been. I've gone through my own struggle. As you know me, I've gone through my struggle. But at the end of the day, like, there is, and if I was to tell my story, of course I'll get some love, of course I'll get some engagement. But it's like, I wouldn't get the same energy.
As
that,
someone who was a gangbanger sitting there telling
and
his
that's
story.
what I'm asking. As a community, are we not only, number one, glamorizing the gang culture? Number two, are we
Attracted to struggle.
attracted to struggle? And also, are we making the right role models? Because my man should be a role model. He should be known in the community. So should people like ourselves. Like, why do you all know about C business lifestyle?
But
Why?
then again, it depends because it depends. It just depends on the person as well. Because to be honest, I don't. As much as people talk about it, not a lot of people actually. Okay, there is quite a few people that are kind of getting this awesome. But really and truly, like, I think it's her that said, it's really just upbringing, and I really think it's just how you was brought up and how you're pushed.
But
Because
isn't that a community thing again? I don't know.
but it depends. That's like you said. In the black community, there's too much. Everyone has. I'm Congolese, but I was probably raised different to him. You're Nigerian, but you was probably like, everyone's upbringing is so different. So it kind of just depends. Some people's parents, they don't mind their child trapping and doing all that lifestyle and then flipping it over. They will even support it to the end. It really just depends.
I'm talking about what I do. I'm talking about as a community. That why do we support that case?
Yeah, but
And I
they're a
don't
part
think-
of the community.
but you
What
don't
I'm
even
saying
know
is that
about Carl
individually, people
Maybe
just.
he's not that known.
But-
You don't know about
I
Carl.
won't lie.
He doesn't know him.
I know about him.
He
Exactly.
doesn't know him.
But
That's
but,
because
but
you don't
again,
know
but
about
again,
Carl,
but
so
sorry,
that's
sorry,
another
but
thing.
sorry. Like, for putting it in 5 places, 3 out of 5 people know him. The majority know him. Name your brother. Thank you. Even she forgot his name.
The thing is, I don't know Carl.
Even she forgot his name. My point's
But
proven.
I only know.
My point's
But I
proven.
knew-
Wait,
I
hold
don't
on.
think-
Stop.
I just
You
feel
know, name
like-
someone that's not gang life, not anything. That's done average job.
But the only reason, another thing that I know about Carl Logan, because he's actually on social media. The people that you're talking about, are they on social?
Yes,
But,
yes.
does he-
That's what I'm
but
saying
on
to you.
social media, as in Instagram, he shows his
Yes,
life, all
yes.
of this
Bruv,
like that.
you can't, and the
I
fact
don't know.
you're questioning
And
him
he's-
just shows it.
Well,
man.
it's not. I'm just asking questions. This Carl Logan guy. He's on Instagram. He's
Because the community puts it in your face.
and his girlfriend. She's known as well. Isn't
Yeah,
she
like,
the
it's
gun-
different. They're
his
it's all about this.
girlfriend.
It's actually. I kept saying this. It's about
It's
the
about
status.
status. It's about
Is it-
status.
But
But
my
it
point,
is.
but my point being is the fact of what I'm getting from this conversation is that our community.
Who
Nizinomics. That's the
heard of it?
Oh, I
You've
think
heard
that-
of it?
Is
think
it
I've heard
does he do
Heard
this
of him.
Islamics?
Not this in the man.
Oh,
Not
okay.
him.
Yeah, I've heard of him.
I heard
But,
of
but the thing is though, from what I'm getting from this conversation, I might be wrong here. It's like the black community, the space that we create is more shaped and more like kind of catered to people of Carl Loco's story and background than to Nizonomic's background. That's what I'm getting from it. And in my opinion, none of you have told me that's wrong or that's a wrong like understanding.
I didn't
No,
say
I'm
that.
just saying-
I
I'm-
never
No,
said
I'm
it's not
just
a wrong
asking, I'm just
understanding, but I
asking.
just feel like you can't just.
By the way, I'm not knocking anyone's struggle. By the way, like, let's get this
Yeah, I
straight.
know you're not knocking.
I'm just saying that as a community, why are we only giving those spaces to those people? Because you said it yourself, like Carl Loco is known, he's bae, your T.O. does what him,
That's what I'm trying to.
that's your community, your T.O.'s your community.
But that's not. But that doesn't mean that's somebody that I look up to. If that makes
That's
sense.
you.
But that's what I'm saying. But
And you're a woman as well.
majority
You're a
of the
woman.
time, but even so, I'm not attracted by, I don't know, a baby mum that was in the slums, you know,
But again, that's
trapping
you
and
though.
But that's what I'm saying. But not a lot of people. It's just what is
Right.
being, like you said, is what is being put out there, and it's because of the status that they hold.
By
Many
the
of
community.
these, for example,
But it's not-
if you give another, okay, I could give an example of someone that's very successful, and she inspires me. Patricia Bright. she didn't go through all of these
Struggles.
struggles.
Yeah.
But
She's a woman, though, by the way. But
No,
But I'm
it's
talking
not.
about
You
the
can't
gang
just
life
say 'cause
is
she's
mainly
a
men
woman.
though. What girl
Thank
from the
you.
gang life?
Thank you.
That's what I'm saying in the community.
That's why I said young boys, though, not young girls. Not.
That's what I'm saying. But for the female, in a female aspect, like for me personally, I look at someone like Patricia Bright. First of all, she's an African woman,
Yeah.
a Nigerian woman, and a life that she's built for herself. And she has a whole platform, and I don't think her
Yeah.
platform gets as much as it should be, considering she's willing
Yeah.
to plug young people
Right.
with
Shout out
opportunities.
Patricia
Okay.
Bright. Shout out Patricia Bright.
She's
why is
done.
that
She's
though?
done a
But,
lot.
but the thing is,
Fam,
a
she's
lot
done
of
a
people know
lot.
who Patricia Bright is. You know what
Yeah.
it is? It's just that. Like I said, I think black people, we're just a trend. You know
I
what
think
mean?
a lot
It's
of
just
people know
what's
about her
trending. It
because
is.
of her
It is.
youth.
That's what it's. All I can say is from what I've learned and from what we've discussed is literally just we follow the trend, and
We're
that's literally
trend,
what it is.
we're-
Whatever is trending is what works.
We don't set our own like standards, like and
No, individually we do. As a community, we
don't. Yeah,
and that's the issue.
So everything I'm saying now is from a community point of view and a Togetherness point of view, and that's why the whole reason I brought this whole conversation up about the lippy thing and everything was just that it seems like, back to your question, who are leaders? Who are the people who are unifying the community? Because if you ask many people, it's the car local to this world. Not saying that's a bad thing at all, but it's like, why doesn't that leaders include the needonomics? Why does it not include?
But isn't that like Jay-Z though? If we're gonna talk about America, he went through the street life, his gang life, and now look, he's changed.
Exactly, that's what we're saying.
That's what we're saying. Deep, that's what we're saying. Deep.
Like,
What
what only?
Why
What
not
only?
the Patricia Brights, the one that people are actually doing good things.
Yeah.
But sometimes it's better to put these people that
We're
are
making the wrong
willing-
role models, bro.
Yeah, and this is what I'm saying. Like, this is what
But
the
you-
next
I feel
generation
like
is
you
gonna
need
follow
to
up from.
Make role models that people can also relate to.
But
you
but
should
the
have.
people say
You should
that,
have.
bruv.
Yes, you
Listen,
can. You
listen,
should
not
have.
relatable.
You should
Hold
have
on,
role.
hold on,
Wait,
hold on,
let me
hold on.
land.
We're all
You
good
should-
youths here.
Hold on.
You should
Hold
have
on,
role
hold on.
models.
I feel like you should have a mixture.
Like the one you said, the Nizzy
Nomics.
one, and you should have role models like Carlo.
Yeah, that's what we're saying.
You should
That's
have
what
both.
we're
But
saying.
I feel
There's
like you're trying
more.
to say they should just be one. They
No.
should.
No,
Oh,
he's just saying that the one that's popular is the Car Locos.
In the
It's the one with
community.
the
And
struggle.
the Nizzy Nomics one gets a nod. That's what he's basically saying.
I don't
There's
think
not-
he doesn't.
There as much.
There's not a variety, basically. There's no options. It's literally, you see the Car Locos, you don't see
I
the
feel like
Nizzy
there's
Nomics,
always
you
a
don't-
reason
We even
for
see
it,
Patricia
though.
Bright, but we
There
don't
is
see-
because black people don't. The community, sorry, are just attracted to the car locals. Sorry, carry on.
No. For me, it's just like you've literally said. Yeah, I lost my train of thought, but
Yeah, same,
but
man.
literally, I do think in the community, definitely, there need to be more.
We need to
like,
do more, like,
especially for
uplifting.
content creators. You know, Patricia Bright is somebody that I would prefer to look up to than every content creator that there is there, because she's actually made a living. And the thing is, she hasn't stopped working. She hasn't sat down and said, you know, she still works. She has kids. She's married. She still lives her life. But she's letting you know, like, if you find the opportunity and there's a way, where there's a way, there's a will, where there's a will,
There's
there's a
a
way.
whole YouTube channel on the like how to get.
Yeah,
money,
like the
basically.
break. Is it a break
The
platform?
platform.
And it's literally telling you if you
Owned by her,
want.
what, Patricia Bright as well.
Patricia Bright, she has a book. Her book is very empowering, by the way. Everyone should check it out. But she has a book, and it's like she has all of these, which should actually be discussed, because this is how you can make money, and it's how you can live the life that you want to live. Like, she can say that she still shops in the normal shops, but she makes enough for her to walk in, and she doesn't have to think, I need to look at my bank account after I've made these purchases, and she makes it evident, and she's been on her grind for years.
And I think that's something we need to change, because I don't feel like if we don't change that we're gonna be in the same cycle.
If someone just needs to take the lead and bring about change, and the thing is,
I think all of us need to do it.
yeah, but like someone
Me,
has to start
you,
it. Everyone.
everyone's got to be involved. Because
Someone said it, if everyone wants to hold hands and actually move, you actually take a step forward. But it's just right now, it's like you don't want to
Listen.
hold hands because you have your beliefs and your traditions, and you don't want to hold hands with this. That's what it actually is.
And then
But
that's got to be sorted out first. Once that's all sorted out, then you can move on to the bigger goal and move as a one unit.
do you know what? I'm sorry, but I low-key disagree with that, because I've been told a narrative which like there's a forest in it. If everyone clears their part in the forest, one day we're all in the middle. I don't know. Like I said, I might not see that day, but remember I said to you earlier, like, great example, creating the right role models. We've got to go back to schools and talk to schools and be like, yo, engineer, sports thing. Like, we've got to do what we can in our communities, and hopefully one day the black community can all come together, kind of thing.
I think we're still trying to find out.
Because we know what to do, don't mean we can do
But
it.
we're putting
right
in,
now.
like, literally,
The foundation.
the Bible says it's when the foundation is there. After that, so long as you have a solid foundation, the Bible says, everything else will just follow through. But so long as we've built the foundation and we make a solid foundation,
But then,
everything else will pile up on top of the house. You get it?
but then doesn't go back to my point where I was saying, like, if you clear, I feel like for me personally, I feel like if you clear where you're disagreeing with me, I feel like if you clear your individual pieces, you can then have a solid foundation, and then the end goal can be
Yeah.
strong.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's what I think. I feel like just if your individual circumstances from each community gets cleared, you have one understanding. That's your foundation built.
But sometimes
that's
you
gonna-
shouldn't even focus.
Wait for it to get cleared. Nothing.
Will make.
No, but
so
no,
you-
no,
so you
obviously-
got to do your part.
Yeah, cool. Understandable. Everyone in the individual communities has got to do their part to make that clear. Firstly, that number one priority. But then once it's clear, I feel like some sort of whatever way agreement can be made to that. This is where we're going.
Okay.
This is how we're doing it, and this is how we're gonna get there.
So like, what I want kind of like to wrap up then is like, my ideal goal at the end of this conversation and in my lifetime is we have a community where people are supported of every background, of every struggle, of every outcome, and like there is no need to put extra emphasis on like a black business should be supported without promotion. Like someone should need to say black business before it's supported. We should support. We should be like, that's one of our people. Let's go, because in certain communities that's how it runs. So for that to happen, what would you say is your personal, like, talk to the camera, talk to the viewers, like what would you advise them and yourself to, like, we need to do? Because of this way, innit?
I think I even said it in the previous episode. I don't feel like it has to be a trend. I just feel like it should be continuous.
But what should be continuous? What should be continuous?
Just to support overall, knowledge, your experience. And I feel like this is what happens in the black community a lot. I feel like once you know something,
Gatekeepers, isn't it?
you're gatekeepers. You're not trying to share it. You're not trying to say it because you want to get there first before you can even share it out before anyone else. Whereas, fam, you share it out.
I
Fam,
agree
the
with
person the person you may have put on will come back to you saying,
Definitely.
"Bro, thank you. Like, let me come with you. Like, come with it, whatever." So, I feel like that's for me. Those three main things. I feel like knowledge, your experience, and sharing what you know and what you've even gained from someone else to someone else, and
Facts.
then all those one you grow together. And then
Facts.
also cutting out individual community problems to then have a foundation to again have an end goal.
Going off what Horeb said, I feel like when people know something, I think they think when they share it that they can't win, that
Yeah.
they can't
No,
reach
someone's
the.
gonna do it
Do
better.
you know what I mean? Someone's gonna do it better than me. That's because even with I was watching on YouTube about the entrepreneur lifestyle, right? And you know, I typed it in on YouTube just to see how people do it, you know, with their cosmetics line or with their outfits and stuff. Sorry, just going away a little bit, but it's just like I see a lot of Americans do it, the Black Americans, but I don't see a lot of Black British people in the UK doing it. And I was thinking, why is that? So going off of what he said, it's like, you know, it's like people feel like they need to be gatekeepers. When you know something, you don't want to share it. You feel like, oh, someone's going to get there before me. And I feel like that's with like promotion. Like when you see people tweet their businesses, you don't want to retweet it. Do you know what I mean? You don't you see sometimes when people retweet their stuff? It's true. Like when people retweet this, no, I
For
see
you-
this a
for you, it might
lot.
not
Maybe
be,
not
but
for
for
you.
you- for you,
You
it might
get a
not
lot
be.
of support from your friends. I get support from my friends as well. But sometimes it's like you tweet something, not a lot of people retweet it or support you or like it or comment for you. But you see, I don't know. Do you get what I'm saying?
I know what you're
Like,
trying to say though, yeah.
no. So it's just like don't be stingy with the knowledge that you have. If you know it can help people, try and help people. I feel like we all can win, but I feel like in the Black community, people feel like we all can't win.
Yeah.
Is that something? I don't know.
That slavery mindset?
I got a
Massa.
question. I got
Man's
a
not
question. Do you feel like everyone in the black community can win?
Yeah.
I feel like there's
Yeah.
a place for everyone.
Yeah.
Everywhere. You just have to
Yeah.
take. For me, like going off your question and Sam's question, is willing to take the risk and willing to continue to push yourself. I think one thing with the community is because Becky's doing it. How can I do it to be better than Becky?
Yeah.
Not, do you know what? Let me take what Becky's
be a
done,
Karen.
add my own thing, and continue to do it. So I feel like with me, the advice that I give myself is like I always say, and I say this to everybody, is that everyone's running their own race. And eventually we're all going to get the finish
Yeah.
line. You never see someone collapse. Even though they collapse, have to get back up and reach the finish line. Do you get it? So it's like, just take that risk and go full, take the risk and go forth with it. And also just try to take out all your individual traditions and just for once, just try to bring about unity and not think about how you, so long as that me and my people are fine, it doesn't matter about everyone else.
Yeah.
You get it? Like me, I'm a queen of retweeting. If I see something, I just retweet because
Yeah.
today it might not be me
dashing
that's
it and
buying
Yeah.
it, but it might be somebody else that's been intrigued
Buying
with it.
it.
And it's support. And I hate this whole black business. It's just a business that is owned by a person. Support it regardless.
In our
Yeah.
Because
community.
in our community, because you don't see in a white community, you're seeing this is a white business owned no, you just
But
see a business.
I think people do that so that they can get
what
support
I'm
within
saying.
our community,
But
don't you
that's
think?
that's the what we're
That's
trying
a
to
good
say.
thing,
I
would
no,
say,
but the
but-
aim is that shouldn't happen
That
in the
sh-
future.
yeah, in the future, it should
like,
just be.
we should see a picture, a business that are black. That's our people. We're supporting.
and you just support it. We don't have
But
to
it's not our
emphasize
fault,
who we.
though. I think.
Obviously,
do you know what I mean?
yeah, but in the
No,
future,
but it's like
obviously-
we have to show who we are in order for us to
Yeah.
get support. I have to put black business, so I know Remy can retweet it. No,
Yeah.
you see my people. You say, do you know what? I want to support. Let's go through
in the
with it.
eye, obviously, right now that has to happen.
Yeah, that has to
Yeah.
happen.
But
so
in the
people can
future-
have- but in
Yeah.
the future, that's what I want
Yeah.
personally. And I just one thing I feel like, don't give up. I feel like one thing that this generation has is a push. We're ready to push things. We're ready to do things. And you've seen it, Len, when John Boyega, is it Boyega?
Yeah,
Was
John
doing it. He
Boyega.
said, I
love
might lose
him.
my job because of this. But he was willing to take that
Yeah.
risk.
Yeah.
And look, do you know how many people are behind him?
I love him.
because
he,
of it.
He was so
And he
good.
just showed that if you persevere and you continue and you take a risk, it may not be today, it may not be tomorrow, but one day you'll see the fruits of your labor,
Yeah.
if that makes sense.
Yeah, I think just around all that. I think for me, my advice to everyone would just be, don't be gatekeepers, and also don't be scared to ask questions.
Yeah.
I feel
Yeah.
like there's a lot of pride within our communities. But you know what I'm trying to say? Well, I'm not asking my dickhead. Do you know what I'm trying to say? But even Bounce said it. He was like, I'm where I am because I'm asking for people for help, asking for opportunities. And I feel like I go by, if you don't ask, you don't get. Do you know what I
True.
mean?
Yeah,
Bruv, you
100.
need, like, you see your boy did a mad thing, bruv, drop the pride. How did you get that, fam? What go on? Like, if he doesn't want to tell you, then you know he's bad man and you know how to move yourself, move accordingly. But ask and be supportive, because as a community, that's what we are. We're meant to, not in a negative way, you're meant to step on my head to get up. I'm meant to step on your head to get up. Like, we're meant to be lads up. We're not crabs in the barrel. Like, we're meant to help each other get up. So we need to share the information, spread it, and sometimes don't even wait to be asked. Just tweet it. Yo, I got a new job. Here's how I got it. X, Y, Z, because people are gonna need it on that support. And I think another thing that we need to do is we need to make the right role models, both for males, females, and I'm gonna say now, even within the LGBT stuff, like we need to make those things like the right role models so people can relate to that. Like, I don't feel like we should neglect anybody for any belief. Like, if we're gonna say unity, that means if you are black, no matter where you come from, I'm gonna have to fuck with you, and I'm gonna have to support you. You get what I'm trying to say? I'm gonna agree with everything you do and you say, but just because of that pure blackness, we're gonna do something and work together. And I think that's what I'd advise people: make the right role models, support the right people, and just be yourself really, and ask questions as a community. So, yeah, that's it really.
Well, thank you for tuning in on the
girls
4
do the
missing
thing. The girls
pieces.
do the thing.
It's
We
your girl
loved it.
Jennifer. Like, comment,
and
subscribe,
subscribe.
and share.
Don't forget to share, guys. Get the views coming, innit? We
Come
spoke
on.
about good things today. So make sure you watch this and you share.
That's on period. Fool.
Don't be a gatekeeper. Remember that.